Today we're going to demonstrate the new Bury 9060 Music. As on our previous video, we've already demonstrated the voice activation commands of the Bury, and now what they've done is incorporated an iPod lead. So what you actually can get is iPod music streamed directly through the kit and bypassing the stereo. There are a few advantages and disadvantages of this, and we'll explain that in the video. Right, to start with, obviously, ignition on. The kit's connected using a dash mount bracket, so it's quite a tidy install. Obviously the screen illuminates, and as soon as the kit starts up, it will start to pair with the phone. As you can see, it's searching for the phone, and it's connected. As before, you can completely control it from voice, so just to demonstrate, phone book, call Bluetooth car kit direct.
Calling to the Bluetooth car kit direct office.
Everything that the 9060 can do, the new music kit can do, and basically what this kit gives you is the iPod lead. So we'll just demonstrate how you can use this. Connect it to the iPhone. It's an iPhone 3GS. As soon as you connect it, it starts charging, and obviously click onto the iPod mode, and the kit will sync with the iPod, and it'll say there's an accessory attached like most things do. There we go. So obviously the iPod's locked out, you can't control it from there. Obviously the rest of the iPhone's still intact, so you can still make calls. For example, go onto your phone, bring on your contacts, dial your numbers, etc. It's completely separate. So just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll show you what happens with the iPod side of it. Right, now the Bury, as before, you can completely control it from the menu systems it already has. So music, you've got the phone music and iPod. Again, unfortunately, the iPhone itself won't support Bluetooth streaming. So we click on iPod, and then you've got your options. The first two options control whether or not you want to control from the actual kit itself or the iPod. So just to demonstrate the difference, we can put navigate from iPod, which is the top menu. It unlocks the iPod, and you can choose your song. So for example, and it plays. In this mode, unfortunately, the stereo and the steering wheel controls won't adjust volume. That's done from the touchscreen, so obviously you've got your volume. So as a demonstration. It was a Friday night, I walk alone to get the feeling right. After a couple of seconds, it'll drop back on. And there you go. That's all you can control from the actual touchscreen. Everything else is controlled from the iPod, so it's quite handy if you've got a passenger in the car and they want to flick through your albums. Obviously, as before, just bring up your albums, you can go through them, etc. And then if you want to control it from the actual unit itself, you move back, navigate from the car kit. After a couple of seconds, it'll lock your iPod back out, and full controls through that. Quite a nice function of the kit. It'll display obviously the track title and the artist on the screen, and then again you can search, select artist, select album, select song, select playlist. So for this one we'll go and select album. We'll go down a couple just so you can see how it works, and then greatest hits, which is what we were in, starts with track 1, and then you can skip forward from the touchscreen. And then again the volume is controlled from the headset, from the actual unit itself. After a couple of seconds it'll drop back out. And that's basically music control from the iPod. If you press and hold the return key, it'll bring it up to the main menu. And now we'll demonstrate the voice dial. So click voice dial, music, iPod, select album, 2, and it loads American Idiot, and then obviously again you skip your tracks forward and backwards. Once the music starts, unfortunately the voice activation does drop out, but it's just a simple case of clicking next on the screen. Obviously as you're driving along you don't have to pick up your iPod, it's just a simple touch and away you go. If you do want to change your albums by voice command, which obviously is a lot easier than having to navigate through on the actual touchscreen, press and hold the return key, brings it back out to the main menu, and then you can reactivate your voice dial from there. Unfortunately, to activate your voice dial you will have to actually go right back to the root menu, which is obviously this screen, and then start again. Music, iPod, select album, back, select artist, 5, all songs, and it'll start playing Aerosmith songs. It's as simple as that. And obviously if you get a call comes in, the kit will mute, it will display incoming call, and you can answer that via the voice commands, which are accept or decline, or accept and reject. Or alternatively, if you want to make a call yourself, just simply selecting any other option bar the music, and it'll mute the music. So for example, phone book, call Bluetooth Car Kit Direct,
calling to Bluetooth Car Kit Direct office,
and then it'll resume playing where you left off. I mentioned earlier that obviously the kit has advantages and disadvantages. The major disadvantage, which I can see that would probably be people's major concern, would be the fact that you can't control volume from the steering wheel controls or the stereo. Basically, when this kit's connected, it bypasses the stereo. So as you can see, there's no stereo display. The stereo's on, but it's not actually showing anything. One of the main advantages of the kit is obviously if you've got a vehicle that doesn't support text display. So for example, we're in the Clio here. It's got a cabas head unit, and there's no actual text display that will show on that screen. It'll only say track 1, track 2 on your iPod. Before we'd recommend a gateway light kit, so obviously you've got your music through your CD changer port, so you can control that from your steering wheel controls and your stereo itself, but obviously main selection would be done from the iPod. With this system, it combines the Bury and the gateway light together into one system, so obviously price of getting both of these into the vehicle is dramatically reduced, and obviously it's only one installation cost because you're only installing it once, or obviously if you're installing it yourself, instead of having to root about with 2 kits, you've got the option just to have one kit and have it all from this one system. We do like the unit. I must admit, I've been using the gateway light for the last 6 months or so in the car, and having the steering wheel controls for me has been quite a necessity. But I will be testing this car over the next couple of weeks with the setup that it's got in it now, and I'm quite confident that it's going to be a nice change, and I'll get used to it very quickly. Obviously in vehicles where you do get text display, I'd highly recommend going down the Dension unit route, because you will be able to get full text display on your radio. In some of the Audis, Volkswagens, BMWs, any of the fibre optic vehicles such as Porsche, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Volvo, you can get all your display on your radio module itself, but obviously in situations where you can't get that display, I'd recommend going with something like the Bury kit, where it's all integrated in one unit, and obviously you can remove that. So all you're going to have is the base unit in the car, and that's basically all you'll have. A lot of people get put off by a second screen in the vehicle, but as you can see from this setup, it's very small, smaller than the palm of my hand, and it doesn't really look any different to the dashboard. Obviously we've set this up for the purpose of this video, but you can change this to obviously colour screen, so we can change it to a green colour screen, red, grey, many different options available. Obviously it's only set to orange to match the vehicle, and then obviously you have a sleep mode. You can activate the sleep mode, And what this will do is turn the screen off when you're not touching it after the desired seconds, so 15, 30 or 60 seconds. If you've got it set to 15 seconds, what will happen is, when you're not using the kit, so we'll leave it on the main menu, the screen will shut down. So if you're driving at night, you've not got the glare of the screen, and like I say before, you can change the illumination anyway, so you can reduce the glare rate anyway. So after a few more seconds, that will obviously switch off. The music will continue to play, and that is the Bury kit.